Yeah, as we are discussing about different symbols, even language plays a very important role in terms of communicating cultures. Language is nothing but a set of symbols that expresses ideas and enable people to think and communicate with one another. Say for examples, we have seen that non-verbal language can be verbal, language can be non-verbal. Non-verbal behaviors are very complex behaviors. We have seen that a single kind of this kind of intention, a non-verbal postures, it conveys so many things. These things means you want a very little, in one culture, and the same gestures or postures indicates different meaning in other cultures. Like it is different for Greece people, it is conveys different meaning for Italian peoples. So simply in other cultural context, we have observed that non-verbal language also plays very important role in terms of communications. If you example simply a handshake, Americans require a different kind of handshake which is different from Europeans, while Indians always want a very strong handshake. If you are not holding their hand very strongly, it conveys that as if you are not interested in them. So your interaction may not go a longer period of time. So that's why non-verbal languages are more powerful than verbal languages, and most of our emotions are communicated through non-verbal languages or non-verbal communications. However, we have seen that values have been a very important components of culture. Attitudes, beliefs, and attitude, beliefs, and values. So we call it as the onion model of ABC, attitude, beliefs, and values. So attitudes are organized into values. Attitudes are organized into beliefs, and beliefs are organized into values. So values are nothing but the core component of human beliefs that are so enduring. These are so enduring in nature that becomes part and parcel of human behavior. So our culture is reflected in our behavior that holds our beliefs, values, and attitudes. These are collective ideas about what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad, what is desirable, what is undesirable in a particular culture. So this is nothing. Even these values also indicate our ethics and moralities. Ethics and morality. Values are often reflected in our ethics and morality, because ethics is nothing but whatever we do it in terms of what is right and what is wrong. Morals are what is good, what is bad, and attitudes are also reflect what is desirable, what is undesirable. Going further, there are certain norms that guides our culture. So what we call the cultural rules and regulations, cultural ethos. Cultural ethos are very enduring in nature. This has become the part and parcel of our everyday behavior. So these cultural ethos grow out of the practice of existing norms, established rules of behavior or standards of conduct. We often call it as the code of conduct in terms of office, organization, society, country, or continent. So why social groups differ, why countries differ, why continent differs? There's nothing, because every one of them they believe in, they are guided by a unique code of conduct, unique established rule of behavior or standard of rules. So therefore, let's then we come up with your own systems. When you are asked that what is your cultural competence, can you identify? Can you identify your cultural backgrounds? So when you try to identify your cultural backgrounds, you try to relate with the symbols, the language, the values, the norms that you relate yourself. So with a partner, generate a list of following components of culture. Say for example, somebody in India, we have various types of culture we practice. Say for you have a good friend from down south, from Tamil Nadu, interacting with his or her friend with West Bengal. So can you map each other's culture? One side say Bengal and the other side is Tamil Nadu. Can there be a culture belonging to Punjab, which is different from Assam, which is different from Maharashtra? So this is how even you can find different behavioral patterns within the same nations, but when you compare yourself with different other countries, say for like India and US, Russia, UAE, you will find different kind of, a person belonging to Russia holds different cultural behavioral patterns than a person belonging to United Arab Emirates. So then the question is that how culture and emotion, they are interrelated. Yes, culture and emotions are interrelated in the sense that our emotions are guided by one's culture or cultural ethos, cultural rules or standards. So therefore there is a direct relation between emotion and culture. But sir, then who makes it that how smart you are? So what decides that you are a smart guy? Who decides that you are more intelligent than others? So this smartness, intelligent, extraordinary, these are certain connotations or adjectives that we use looking at the cultural expression of a person's, in terms of, say, when you say that emotions requires particular type of awareness, if you have aware of the emotional state of affairs of a Japanese, you will be able to better interact. If you can regulate your emotions in a proper way, in a balanced way, you will be appreciated in other cultures. Emotions sometimes also regulate motivations. So therefore emotion and motivation, they go side by side. You cannot express empathy towards other culture unless you understand the emotional state of affairs of your counterpart. So therefore it is also related to emotional intelligence. So and social skills, we have been seen how socially you are composed, how socially you are comfortable, unless until you understand the tricks of the trade of social equations or interpersonal relations. So therefore Goldman says that these are the 5 dimensions that always interrelated. So therefore there is a direct relationship between emotion and culture. So therefore there are situations that involve relationship trigger anger more frequently for Americans than Japanese. Situations involving strangers trigger anger more frequently for Japanese. So where there are strangers, Japanese feel more anger, but when there are relationship situations that trigger more anger for Americans. So this shows that this last paragraph shows that there are cultural differences in relation to expression of emotions. Cultural differences also exist in appraisal processes requiring judgments of fairness and morality. If you look into the justice systems, justice delivered to blacks and whites. So blacks have always complained the quantum of punishment have been delivered to the blacks in the court of whites, court of law of whites, where whites are judges. White judges have delivered high level of punishment to blacks compared to the whites. So there is always a racial discrimination reported. So therefore there are national cultural differences that African complains about justice than Europeans or Americans. The cultural differences also we found in expressive behavior like display rules. Similarly, when we study in terms of emotional labor, there are certain cultures they can consume more emotionally exhaustive situation than other cultures. Like the original display rule study says that despite evidence for universality of emotional expression of basic emotions, there are also cultural differences. This discrepancy can be explained by cultural display rules. Cultural display rules, say for examples like rules that dictate how universal emotional expressions should be modified according to specific social situations. Like there are particular training being delivered to call center executives, to hotel industry executives, to bank executives, that when you are dealing with human behaviors, it is quite natural to experience high level of anger. So therefore how to manage those emotional situations, they are being done. You go, don't overreact, don't get excited, they are your customers, this is part of your job. So accordingly you de-amplify, you amplify, you neutralize, you qualify, mask, and also sometimes through simulation also. See, these are the behavior you are likely to experience during your interactions. So you need to maintain calm and compose. So that's why there are certain cultures, say for in like collective cultures, where seniority is always respected without any reason. Blindly people follows it. So therefore that training starts from their family. Anybody who is senior always say pranam, namaskar, touch their feet. So touching somebody's feet is an indication of one's respect and honor. So if you say hi, how are you, that will be an insulting behavior in Indian context. Still in Indian remote villages, people cannot take it, how modern you are, how how educated you are, but the cultural ethos still remains unchanged. Then cultural differences in expressive behavior. Say for examples, this is a study long back during 1970s conducted by Paul Ekman and Frazen. American and Japanese participants viewed highly stressful films in two conditions. Condition 1 is alone, condition 2 is with the experimenter. Americans show disgust when they are alone watching a movie, while Japanese showed also disgust. But with the experimenter, American also showed disgust, but the Japanese smiled. So when somebody is there, even in Indian context, when you are alone, you feel afraid. When there is somebody like your closed one sitting next to you, you feel empowered, you feel safe. So that creates a comfort zone. So this is the difference in between collective society and individualistic society. These are also several other differences related to self in group relations, where in individualistic society it's okay to express negative feelings, less need to display positive feelings. So if you are feeling irritations, American do not bother to express it. So they simply say, please stop it, I don't like it. But if your senior or to whom you respect causes some discomfort, but in India, people will consume it like it as a poison, because they respect you too much. So they value their relationship so much, even during family fighting or fight between couples, the Indian so-called housewife always tolerate nonsense of husbands, is not it? So that comes out of our collectivistic approach to our cultural tolerance. So because we try to suppress expressions of negative feelings, more pressure to display positive one. In case of self out-group relations, but Indians are very good in reacting to somebody from outside his group, from outside his locality or society. Say for examples, people in individualistic culture, they suppress expressions of negative feelings, okay to express positive feelings, same as toward in group. But in collective societies, people encouraged to express negative feelings, because that's why we always give training when you are traveling alone in train, buses or anywhere, do not interact much with strangers. But this is just opposite to individualistic society. You look at Americans, look at Europeans, there is a famous joke behind this. There are people who traveled all from their different countries on a tourist tour to Paris, the famous tower, Eiffel Tower. So people from United States, Europe, Germany, Japan and India, they get together. One American male encounter a female, they get introduced with, hi, where are you from? So they introduce that we are from America, so they get together and they become good friends. Same thing happens to German people, same thing happens to Japanese people. But when it came to Indians, there are two strange, one male and one female, one from one state, another from another state. But still they each other, waiting for each other, that let him come to me, the lady is thinking, and introduce to me. And then the gentleman is thinking, I don't know her, let her come to me and introduce. And throughout their journey, they never get a chance to introduce with each other. So that signifies our cultural differences. Cultural differences in expressive behavior also. Facial expressions of emotions are under dual influence. Inverse are biologically innate factors, and second reason is culturally specific and learned display rules. When we are learning certain rules and regulations, you must not go beyond this boundary line. So we restrict our expressions. The neurocultural theory of emotional expression, that indicates that we are biologically regulated or programmed to express certain kind of display or behavior. Americans are better at recognizing anger, disgust, sadness than Japanese. Cultural sources of differences may be individualism. Individualism is associated with better recognition of anger, fear, happiness, because they are encouraged. Don't tolerate your discomfort, always try to express. So many times we Indians suffer with lots of problems, but we do not allow anybody to let us know, because we are not expressing, because we often perceive that it's my problems, why should I express to others. In the process we don't get any assistance from others. So that is a setback in our culture. Cultural differences in judging emotions in others, but there are some certain situations in public places, public platforms, we are not so open to express our feelings. Few years back, when one of the Hollywood hero was doing an advertisement for AIDS or something in India, he repeatedly caught hold of Shilpa Shetty and kissed her on the platform. But kissing a lady in United States is not a big affair, but kissing a lady in India, it becomes a a national issue. So during that time it has become a huge national issue, and most of the news channels, it was coming as breaking news. So what is there to make it a big news, which is because it is not culturally easy going in our countries. So therefore cultural differences do matters in the expression of our emotions and behavior. So the meaning of emotions to people and the behavior, like in US, emotions inform oneself about self. In other culture, emotions are statements about relationship between people and environment. So these are varying meanings of emotions that conveyed from culture to culture. Therefore, the very concept and definition of understanding and meaning of emotions that differ from culture to culture or across culture. So therefore, cultural constructionism approach to emotion is that emotions are set of socially shared scripts that are inextricably linked with culture and develops as individuals are enculturated into cultures. So this is, emotion reflects cultural environment. That is where I said that culture is nothing but man-made. So emotion reflects cultural environment and is an integral part of one's culture. Culture shapes our emotions, challenges universality or biological innateness of emotions. Sometimes culture, when you are going to China, you must learn how the Chinese express their emotions. It is not that emotion takes care of your culture, it is a culture that takes care of your emotions. Similarly, in India, why there are a lot of restriction when a boy talk to a girl. The parents never allow the free interaction between their grown up daughter and sons. So that creates, that is nothing but a social taboo, that this is a bad thing, that should not be encouraged in Indian cultures. Even some parts of India also, boys and girls cannot walk together hand by hand, holding hands together on the road, and this is a cultural restriction for expression of one's feelings towards others. So the conclusion on cultural differences is that there are universal and cultural specific aspects of human emotions. Therefore, the basic emotions one needs to be studied very carefully, because there are certain emotions, they are universally applicable, but however there are some emotions, they are culture specific. Subjective experience and emotion language may be culture specific. So therefore, taking lessons from here, let us practice it in the framework of cross cultural competencies, where we will try to relate the understanding of emotional intelligence. So our understanding of the emotion and the culture in different national culture now leading us to apply emotional intelligence in a cross cultural framework. Cross cultural framework. Is emotional intelligence, is AI helpful in developing cross cultural competence? Let us examine why do we need cross cultural competence and how AI can be very helpful to us. So when you talk about cross cultural, we are actually talking about multiculturalism. Cross cultural is nothing, it can be studied as multicultural. Multicultural may be in terms of nation, in terms of language, in terms of colors, in terms of caste, religion, etc., etc. So, therefore, let us begin with our education systems. So, when after globalizations, we are now entering in, we are living in a state of global village, isn't it? So, educational institutions across countries, across nations have become multicultural. In India, even now government is also creating policies that 10 to 15% seats should be available to other country nationals, so that India becomes able to enrich its global outreach programs. In recent times, many IITs, the Minister of HRD is coming up in a big way in terms of GAN, the global Indian outreach national programs. These programs are basically introduced just to bridge the gap between different countries in terms of regulations, in terms of educations, in terms of social exchange, in terms of cultural exchanges, so that we can build up better relationship with other countries. We can know each other in a better way, which will be helpful for creating a positive world or a better world for tomorrow. So, therefore, if you examine or if you look at this slide, you can find people from many countries, many cultures, many nationalities are sitting here and discussing about something. So, similarly, when you are engaged in some multicultural discussions, how do you relate to each others? There will be differences in your pronunciations, there will be differences in your expressions, facial expressions. So, is it good for individuals, organizations, countries? So, let us examine it. What is the cost and benefit of multiculturalism? We just have highlighted what could be the possible benefits, but what could be the side effects of multiculturalism, or collectivistic or pluralistic society or pluralism. And right now what American are suffering from the threat of multiculturalism. In every institutions, every college, every university, there is shooting, killing, kidnapping is going on. There is a growing sense of hatred is spreading all over America. So, now Americans are very cautious, that is why they are talking about immigrations. So, multiculturalism is causing immigration problem. So, that is threat to their survival. Creating identity crisis. Social violence. Conflicts, intergroup conflicts. So, these are some of the side effects of negative outcomes of multiculturalism. But is there any way out? How can we fight out? How to solve the problems of multiculturalism? Yes, the only answer is cross-cultural competency. Cross-cultural competency. So, how we can do that? So, then question is what, how and why. So, these what, how and why will answer the question of multiculturalism. Thank you.